Hey, Davion, thanks for doing this. Question about the point guards. You being, I think it's really fascinating that you're the oldest player on the team. Devin is the youngest player on the team. I'm curious both ways. What have you been able to teach the young kid, and vice versa? What has the young kid been able to teach you during this process?
Just to attack practice every day with a competitive spirit. Um, just being able to teach them, the fact that you have to have a great relationship on the court, and that's by him competing against me every day, and that's by me, competing against him every day, and that's just, us guys wanting better for each other. So I mean, it's been fun, and he's been doing really well so far.
All right, Kyle Tucker, you got next, and Maggie Davis, we'll go to you.
Davion, I think regardless of whether Keon's out there, but I wonder even more now that we know Cal said Keon may not be out there for this first week. How much of a sense of responsibility do you feel to show some of that leadership, poise, all the things that a young group of guys is going to look to one of the veterans, even though you haven't been on this particular team?
Right. I mean, it's tough to kind of to say, replace responsibility for a guy like Keon. I mean, the guy that was significant to a really good team last year, and a guy that's been very mature for us. And even though he hasn't had his presence with us on the court, he has been doing a lot of things off the court as far as team meetings, and so I'm still learning the type of things from him. Although he's younger than me, but like he's just been here and has a sense of knowing, and so it's been fun, and it's also been I do have to step up in that nature and kind of keep guys level-headed and kind of, carry that culture that he brings to this program, even though he isn't playing right
now. All right, so we're going to go to Maggie Davis.
Hi, Davion. Cal talked a lot about having his hands and feet and head on the panic button right now, heading into the season, especially after the scrimmage you all had yesterday. How do you feel going into the season? Where do you think this team stands right now?
Yeah, I mean, right now we didn't have our best scrimmage yesterday. Hopefully we got, the kinks out, and we wrecked the car yesterday just to get it back rolling for Wednesday. So, I mean, it's just one of those things where, I feel like it has to happen. It was a humbling experience, and I think we're just fine. I think we're tired of playing each other. That was like the biggest problem for the Flaws yesterday. I think we're just really excited to, get out there and play other people. So, I mean, it's been the same faces for I don't know how many months now. So, I mean, we're right here at the finish line. We're just ready to get going.
Thanks.
All right, Jerry Tipton, you've got the next question, and Bear, I'll circle back to you.
Yeah, Davion, I wondered how you feel about fewer fans being there at the games, how that might affect things.
Yeah, we're trying our best. They had like a crowd simulation noise at our scrimmage. I mean, times are very different. I personally, and I'm sure my teammates, the caliber players they are, that we like to perform in front of big crowds. So, I mean, fortunately enough, we'll be able to have some people there, some sort of support, but we're definitely going to have to, find energy within ourselves. I know it'll be very different. It'll be, I say it'll be actually pretty tough, coming out, starting, but like I said, we got to find energy within each other, kind of get each other motivated, and, realize that we are on TV playing, so there's still our fans around the world watching, and just try to, make it work.
All right, Daryl Bird, coming back to you.
Hey, David, I'm curious about one thing, your role kind of as a mentor to this group. And you got the freshmen who not only are away from home for the first time in their lives, but they're basically locked down for months, not being able to see anybody. I'm worried about the society aspect of it. And how are you mentoring those guys through that?
Yeah, just by, having people that I talk to that are helping me through the situation. Right. I mean, I'm going through it too. So it's pretty tough. And, just sharing the information that I'm talking with my, my previous teammates and my friends across the country, the guys who have, had, a situation where we could go home and see families, and how they're coping with not having that, luxury anymore, and just sharing that with these guys here that, everyone's facing, what we're going through right now. We're probably in the gym more than a lot more people across the country. So that's helping us. But, it's just one of those things that we can't escape from. We have to deal with it, and we have to, act responsibly until, times are, better for us to, go back to some sort of normalcy again.
What's the hardest part about the isolation?
I think the isolation part, like just not, being able to, get out and experience. You got to be very careful with where you're going, and curfew times, and just trying to be mentally sane of knowing like, okay, it's probably safe for me to go to the gym and DoorDash food than, go get it myself. It's just, just having the responsibility. I think that's the hardest part.
All right, John Long, you got next, and then Jerry will circle back to you.
Hey, Davion, you look really calm, cool, and collected. Compare this experience with how you first stepped out on the basketball court. Are you going to be nervous? You scared you might shoot an air ball the first time? What's going through your mind?
No, I think I'm definitely, very excited. I feel like anxious is a better word. Gosh, I can't even remember my first freshman game. Might have airballed. I don't even know, but I think that Coach Cal prepares us for, like, he puts us in situations, and we're playing against guys every day to where, like, you don't really think about failure when you're with Coach Cal. Like, he's putting you in situations where it's okay to fail with him, and I feel like this is the most comfortable I've ever felt, going into a season. And it's actually, I know that I've matured and got older through it, why I probably feel a little bit more comfortable. But just the fact that Cal has, prepared us and got us in the mental state of, going out there to play a season. And, it's really good to be in this mindset right now.
All right, Jerry, to you, and then Kyle after that.
Yeah, Davion, earlier on this call, Coach Cal pointed out that Ole Miss has suspended their season until in December. And, obviously there's football games called off and so on. How does that play on your mind when you're seeing, games being called off or things delayed? It seems to be getting worse.
Yeah. And that's the tough part right now, especially, going right into the tip off that, you're having these unfortunate things happen. So, and that's another tough part. Like, you just got to stay focused with your situation. Remember the importance of, like, health and wearing your mask, and the importance of social distancing, because that could easily, be us if we, have the smallest slip up. And this is still important for us, guys. And we try not to get too caught into the negative of, what's going on and guys losing, a few weeks into the season. We're just trying to really focus on us and make sure, we're doing our part. So, we can't be to blame when things like this happen.
Is it tougher for the younger guys? Like, there's so many freshmen to deal with, and somebody like you who's been around the block?
Yeah, I think it's tough for us all, but it's kind of, very different for those guys, because, they haven't had the normal experience, which I feel terrible for them, because, these are really good players and really good guys. And, everyone deserves opportunity to, showcase their talent in front of big crowds. But, it's completely different, and who knows when it'll change. So.
All right, guys, got a couple minutes left here with Davion. Kyle, we'll go to you.
Obviously, all the kinks haven't been worked out, and Cal's talked about that, and maybe it won't look like a cohesive team from the jump, with 10 guys making their Kentucky debut and nobody out there with you this first week who's actually played at Kentucky. In those moments when everything kind of goes haywire, what do you think will be the thing that this team sort of falls back on? When everybody kind of resorts to instinct, I guess, in stressful situations. Early on, what will this team kind of fall back on to try to overcome whatever early deficiencies you have?
Just our trust. The principles that Cal's been teaching us, like one big thing that we have focused on, that he's tried to help us with, don't worry about being a guy to be the playmaker, rely on your teammates, trust your teammates, and realize that it's so much harder when you feel like you're the guy that has to do everything. Realize that you're out there with a bunch of talented guys, and You know, if you're not on, maybe the next man is. So, you know, just figure out that who has the hot hand at the moment, who's, you know, getting things done, whether it's anyone. So hopefully, you know, I don't feel like everyone's going to be off. Just kind of just be together and trust that, you know, someone can get it done, and just rely on the great coaching that we've had preparing us for these couple months.
All right, guys, we'll let Davion go and get Olivier in here. Davion, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I don't know if you can match that. My bad. There you go.
Sir, how you doing?
Good. How about you?
Good, I'm good.
Let me say the same things normal. Just except you don't have to be worried about the computer, okay?
Bet.
I'll just kind of let you know when you get a question.
Got a Coke?
All right, guys, we got Olivier Sarr in here. So if you want to go ahead and use the raise hands feature, we got about 10 minutes with him. All right, Kyle Tucker, we'll start with you, and then Jerry Tipton will go to you after that.
Olivia, this is sort of a similar question I asked Davion, especially with Keon out. How much of a responsibility do guys like you and Davion feel to sort of shoulder the veteran load, even though this is your newcomers in a way yourselves, but not to college basketball? Do you feel like you have to sort of take some of that onto your shoulders, especially this first week?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Keon did a great job so far, being on the sideline, talking to the guys, being a leader, because he knows he's been through it already. And I think for Davion and I, it's going to be responsibilities in these first few games. It's going to be on us to make sure that everybody's locked in, making sure that we huddle up every time we can and talk to the guys and guide them and lead them through the first few games.
All right, Jerry Tipton, you got next.
Yeah, Olivier, I wonder, Coach Cal earlier on the call painted a pretty bleak picture. How plausible is it? Do you think you guys could get off to an 0-6 start?
You know, yesterday's scrimmage wasn't the best, obviously, but we're not thinking about the second, third, fourth game. Right now, we're thinking about Morehead State. You know, that's our next game, and that's who we're focused on. And we're going to give our all. And we got to, like we seen yesterday, we have to be ready from the jump. And that's the biggest takeaway.
What was the drawback to the scrimmage? What made it less satisfying?
I think that we didn't bring the energy from the jump. The second team really punched us in the mouth from the get-go, and it took us time to react and just stay organized. You know, a lot of mistakes are going to happen, but we got to stay locked in, you know.
Just a reminder, if you got a question for Olivier, to use that raise hands feature. Right now, I don't have anything in the queue. All right, Maggie, we'll go to you.
Hi, Olivier. You mentioned how you all are feeling going into this game after that scrimmage. And I know you can only really focus on one game at a time. And even if the scrimmage was kind of negative yesterday, do you feel like you could take away any positives from it? I think we've heard a lot about, sort of the energy and what Cal and you all haven't liked from it. But was there anything positive you could take away from yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, first off, we have depth. You know, that means that the other team, our team, the second team that we played against, the blue team, really did a great job. So that means that we have other guys that are ready. So it makes the 5 guys that started yesterday realize that we need to pick it up from the jump, because we have a lot of options. And if it's not you, it's going to be somebody else. But that's good for our team. And I think that the positive is that we failed yesterday, and we failed early. And like Coach said, we rather fail at practice than Wednesday for our first game. So we learned a lot. We're going to watch film, learn from our mistakes, and be ready for our first game.
Is part of that also you're just tired of playing each other? I mean, Davion says he acted like he was just tired of playing against the same people every day in practice. Are you just excited to finally go against someone new?
Yeah, I think everybody is ready to just go out there and compete for Kentucky against another team. You know, I think it's been great. We worked out a lot. It was a great summer, a lot of practices together. But I think that guys are definitely ready to play another opponent.
All right, Jerry Tipton, circling back to you.
Yeah, Olivier, who was on the first five that the second five punched?
You know, the usual, like you've seen in the scrimmage before, the white team against the blue team.
Can you say who was on the white team?
It was white team. It was Devin, BJ, TC, Isaiah, and myself.
And I'm wondering, coming from France, was Thanksgiving a thing in France? Or if not, what do you make of it?
No, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving at all. It's not part of our culture. But I mean, I'm ready. As long as it's good food, I'm ready for it. I'll celebrate it every time.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Guys, anything else? Give another few seconds here if you got any questions for Olivier. Going once, going twice.